Before the sun turned gold and before the city slowed down, he was already there, alone, on the same old bench facing the lake. He didn't come to meet anyone. He came with only a pen, a notebook, and thoughts too heavy for silence. This is the story of Haroon, the man who taught without speaking loudly and left a legacy with nothing but paper and presence. Notebook. He always faced the lake, always sat in silence. His name was Haroon. No one knew where he came from. He wore the same sweater every day, the same calm eyes, the same peaceful pause before he began to write. He didn't feed the ducks, didn't jog, didn't use a phone, just wrote steadily, as if the setting sun whispered secrets only he could hear. To some, he looked like a mystery. To others, just another lonely old man. But beneath his quiet exterior was a mind full of stories. The park was noisy, children playing, vendors shouting, couples laughing. But around Haroon there was always a gentle silence, like the world respected his stillness. One day, a teenager named Zaid sat nearby. He had earbuds in, a restless look on his face, but he kept glancing at Haroon. Finally, curiosity won. "Sir, what do you write every day?" he asked, not expecting an answer. Haroon looked up, his eyes soft. "Thoughts, lessons, things I wish someone told me when I was your age." Zaid laughed. "That's a lot of pages then." Haroon smiled. "Enough to fill a few lifetimes." From that moment, they met almost every evening. They didn't always talk. Sometimes Zaid just sat beside him and watched the sun go down. But when Haroon did share, his words were like quiet arrows, aimed at the heart, never missing. He wrote about regret, about the cost of silence, about the beauty of slowing down in a fast world. He wrote about his youth, how he lost people he loved by trying to be strong instead of honest. He wrote about love, the quiet kind, the steady kind, the kind that shows up, not just speaks up. One day, Haroon looked at Zaid and said, "You remind me of me, but you still have time to be better. Don't waste it proving things to people who stop looking." Then one evening, he was gone. The bench was empty, the lake still rippled, but the soul of the scene had vanished. Zaid came back the next day, and the next, but Haroon never returned. A week later, a park guard approached, holding a small wrapped in brown paper. "He told me to give this to you if he didn't come back," the guard said quietly. Zaid opened it slowly. Inside was the notebook. Worn edges, ink-smudged corners, every page filled with quiet fire. On the final page, a handwritten note. "If you're reading this, the bench is yours now. Sit, think, write, pass it on." Zaid didn't cry. He closed the book and sat down. Right where Haroon used to sit, right where the wisdom lived. Years passed. Zaid became a writer. His first book was titled The Bench. In the park, it wasn't a bestseller because of hype. It became loved because it carried truth, and truth is rare. Today, that same bench hosts new faces, teenagers, dreamers, thinkers. Some come to read, others just to sit in silence. The notebook lives on, passed hand to hand. Haroon never built a monument, but he built a ripple made of ink, of time, of quiet compassion. Because sometimes the greatest teachers don't stand behind podiums. They sit quietly in parks, speak through pages, and leave behind lessons not in classrooms, but in hearts and habits. And so the bench remains. Not just wood and metal, but memory. A place where wisdom rests, and where one story always makes room for another.